thunderstorms tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 26 and 29 degrees. Moderate south to southeasterly winds. Relative humidity stands at 85%. For the outlook, a few showers on Saturday, hot with sunny periods in the following few days. And that's the weather from Metro Plus, your connect.
When you receive a statutory notice under the Mandatory Building Inspection Scheme, you must appoint a registered inspector to inspect the building and supervise repair works found necessary. The Buildings Department may conduct audit checks afterwards. Even if you haven't received a statutory notice, you can arrange an inspection voluntarily, according to the requirements of the scheme. Visit bd.gov.hk for details.
Hi everyone, to facilitate the upgrade at our Pengchao transmitter, our free-to-air signal on AM 1044 will temporarily broadcast on reduced transmitter power until further notice. In this regard, some areas may experience weaker reception, and we apologize for the inconvenience caused. Nevertheless, we have made it possible for you to catch us on other platforms on www.metroradio.com.hk/1044 and on our Metro Broadcast app, which is available for download on the App Store and Google Play Store. Happy listening.
Sorry.
I was like, what? Chief?
Anyway, sa mga kasama po natin sa araw na ito, it's 6 minutes past the hour 10. Binabati lang po natin ang mga returnees.
Hello, welcome back.
Yung mga returnees, ibig sabihin nun, nanggaling po kayo sa kabilang feed, pumasok po kayo sa second feed, third feed na po ito, no?
Itag nyo na rin yung iba.
Itag nyo na po.
Bakit?
Sorry
Why? What's the happen?
Hindi, kasi...
Oo, ano naman?
Ay, nako.
Even
Anyway,
your eyes were watery.
Yeah, well, it's always like that. That comes with age of maturity.
May pahabol. Buti na lang hindi ako nag-react agad.
Tita Alpha, kasama po natin. Si Meds.
Tita Alpha, hello.
Si
Bernadette. Si Janelle. Si LN.
Ano yung tunay na kaya pangalan ni LN?
Ellen.
Sige na nga. Ano?
Diba?
Hindi, kasi minsan hindi ko siya malink eh.
That's
kasi minsan may mga...
Yung kasi minimix nila,
exactly,
diba?
Exactly.
Na parang lalaki and lady name.
Ang hilig nyo kasing mag-ganun eh.
Inherent sa ating mga Pilipino yun eh. Naman.
Hello po. Okay, Maria Luis. Okay. Anyway, it's been already final, no? Na nadeklara na po ang President and Vice President. Hindi na po siya presumptive President and presumptive Vice President. So, sila po ay, na po, no? Sila po ang incoming President and Vice President. They were proclaimed yesterday at Congress. Of course, si Ferdinand Marcos Jr., ang Presidente, at ang ating Vice President ay si Sara Duterte. So, ang antay na lang po nito is at the end of June, which at that particular time, sila po ay, they will be sworn in. No? At this point, pinag-uusapan pa kung saan po gaganapin yung swearing-in ceremony kasi yung regular place ng pagsusumpa ng Pangulo at ng pangalawang Pangulo is normally at the Quirino Grandstand sa Maynila. Kasalukuyan pong ginagamit po siya as temporary hospital para sa mga COVID-positive patients. So, hindi pa yun na no? So, as far as that is concerned, these are things that, na po ito? This is final. And sabi nga nila, it's final and executory. Ngayon, in-identify na rin po ang mga, mga upcoming. Right? These are upcoming, dito? How will I describe it? Officials? Cabinets. The incoming members. Cabinet secretaries in the Marcos Jr. administration. This is as of May 26, which is today, no?
Yes.
Correct. So, ang mga cabinet secretaries that will be, that Naku, nawala na tuloy. Nasaan na yun?
Nasaan na yun?
Eh, nawala.
Huh?
I
Nawala.
lost it. Eh, nawala.
Sige, hanapin natin.
Okay. So yung mga ano na po ito, no? Mga upcoming, I should probably look at it. Nawala eh, kasi I don't know what happened. Upcoming cabinets.
5 hours ago.
Cabinet members in
Ito,
Philippines.
I found it.
Okay, ikaw na magbasa. Nandiyan ka na eh.
Dali ako dun. Pero sige.
Hindi, ito na.
Appointees.
The appointees of I don't have the list. Hindi pa siya ano eh.
Ito article.
Okay. No, I don't have the upcoming. It's not the final list.
Kailangan ba final list ba yun?
Na ano na eh, may picture na kanina eh, nawala pa eh.
Oh.
Somebody has done. I actually saw it in the ano. Anyway, so yung mga pinipili po ay si just to be yung si Vic Rodriguez, which is going to be the executive secretary, ang maaaring umupo, no? Na inaccept na si Bienvenido Laguesma, which was who was a former labor secretary during President Joseph Estrada's term. Kasama din po si well, when we talk about something more common to us, no? So, nandyan po si Benny Laguesma ng DOLE at yung bagong talagang kumbaga sangay ng gobyerno is yung Department of Migrant Workers na si Toots Ople.
Yes.
Si Toots Ople po, siya po yung merong non-profit organization, no? Think tank po niya ito, yung Blas Ople Foundation. 'Di ba na-imbitahan po natin siya rito?
Yes,
At siya
before.
talaga ang tutok niya talaga po is para sa mga OFWs, ano? And marami po siya talagang kumbaga advokasya po niya yan eh, no, na talagang tutukan po yung kapakanan po ng mga OFWs, no. So these are the things na gusto nilang gawin. Now, let me just make this clear na ito po ay mga ano pa lang, appointees po sila, no. Then as always, they will have to pass through the Congress and the Senate, 'di ba, to be approved, no. Meron pong proseso po 'yan. But because of pretty much the majority of the people sitting in Congress and the Senate ay administrative kumbaga ano nila, no, kapartido nila. So the chances of these people being confirmed pretty much yes na, no? So yan po yung ano natin. Yan po yung gusto nating iparating po sa inyo. Now, one of the things that we'd like to emphasize is that syempre ang pinangunahan po natin dito is makausap si Ma'am Toots Ople. 'Di ba? We sent already our congratulatories kay Ma'am Toots because I personally, Tita Kerry personally knows her, and during her time doon sa kanyang advocacy, yung sa kanyang Blas Ople Foundation, pumupunta po yan dito sa Hong Kong, ano? And she regularly sort of invites us doon sa kanyang programa sa radyo. Now, since siya po ang inappoint, I've been trying to get in touch with her regarding doon nga sa interview. Unfortunately, she has been so busy and I think she's been going through different media outlets sa Pilipinas, nationally, because she's been interviewed many times in the past week or so. No, nandyan po yung teleradyo, nandyan po yung CNN Philippines, and then she has been also invited in one of the YouTube channels, no, ni Christian Esguerra. And it so happened that Christian, I know Christian because I've reported also through his program sa teleradyo, no. So I have asked permission to actually get excerpts of the interview kasi nakita ko na substantive yung information nung mga katanungan na nakafocus talaga sa mga OFWs. Very, very specific. The issues were OEC, the issues were PhilHealth, the issues kung ano ba talagang pumapaloob sa tinatawag nating Department of Migrant Workers, and so on and so forth. So what I have right now with me is the description of Secretary or Ma'am Toots Ople regarding the Department of Migrant Workers. No? And take a listen.
It has to be fully constituted. Ibig sabihin, wala pa siyang budget, wala pa siyang staffing pattern, none that I know of, pero may IRR na siya na publish. Actually, yun ang dapat ipaliwanag, ano? Yung DOLE, dahil meron ng Department of Migrant Workers o DMW, yung DOLE can now focus on the local domestic workforce, yung local workers natin and local employment. Yung Department naman of Migrant Workers, yun na ang tututok sa OFWs natin from the time that they apply for a job abroad, yung recruitment process, yung mga seminars that they have to take, on-site services, kung napahamak sila. Ang difference ngayon, hindi lang labor violations ang titingnan ng department. Basta OFW siya and na-entangle siya in a criminal case, either as a complainant or siya ang victim, the department must assist him or her. Yung function na yon ng ATN, ng DFA, basta OFW, mapupunta na sa department. Yung DFA naman will focus on non-OFWs na citizens natin who are in distress. Yung mga labor attachés natin, hindi na sila labor attachés. Migrant workers officers na sila. And they will look at the general well-being of our OFWs. Kaya nga, pati yung DSWD, social welfare attachés, ililipat na rin sa amin. So, consolidation of several offices. Yeah, and with regional offices. Kasi yung POEA, wala yung regional offices. So ngayon magkakaroon ng regional offices. Palalakasin din yung National Reintegration Center for OFWs that very few OFWs even know exist. Yun, palalakasin natin kasi ang gusto rin ni President-elect Marcos, yung mga galing sa abroad, ma-link namin sila sa private sector. So yung mga naghahanap ng engineers, IT specialists na galing sa ibang bansa, no, they would have a chance to be on the radar screen of different companies. Yeah, yung polo, yun nga, hindi na siya magiging polo, magiging MWO na siya. Expanded na rin yung role niya, pati yung mga criminal cases. For example, OFW, naging victim ng human trafficking. Under the present setup na wala pa yung department, ATN case yun. Kasi criminal case yung human trafficking. Pero ngayon, under this new law, with this department, yung MWO or Migrant Workers Office will now take care also providing legal assistance and all other assistance to OFW victims of human trafficking. Well, narinig ko kay President-elect Marcos na talagang dapat local employment ang first choice and dapat sana only choice, ano? But people go where the jobs are, eh. And they maybe we can also turn it the other way around, you know, that foreign employers continue to look for Filipino workers kasi they're trusted, they're comfortable with our work ethic, they are known to be excellent additions to the workforce, no. Filipinos, alam mo, we also have to be proud, eh. I keep hearing yung labor export, lagi na lambagan yan and all that. But you know, eto na lang it was Labor Secretary Pat Santo Tomas who told me na in Canada there's this hospital nagsiuwian na yung mga health workers kasi tapos na yung shift. Pero may naiiwan lagi na Filipina nurse na hindi maiwan yung isang matanda na pasyente. Dahil walang nagbabantay, walang dumadalaw. That compassion that humility, that love for others, you know, kaya tayo hinahanap. And this has been going on. There is this love story between employers, foreign employers and their Filipino workers that has to be acknowledged. And that's the other side of the coin. Kasi ang daling sabihin labor export policy, pero hey, um, UN is now talking about migration governance. We are all part of a global supply chain. And
Oo.
to say na labor export, no. Filipinos, Filipino workers may informed choice sila, and some really look at going abroad as part of their career path, and then they would return to the Philippines much better off. Yes, ililipat lang siya from Dole, ililipat sa DMW, attached pa rin siya, yung pondo intact pa rin, and then we hope to expand yung scholarship program ng OWA, and also strengthen yung reintegration programs and develop din programs for the families.
Ayan, kasama po natin the incoming Secretary for the Department of Migrant Workers, Toots Ople. That's an excerpt, no? Excerpt po yan ng kabuuang interview ni Christian Esguerra. If you want to know more about Christian Esguerra, join his YouTube page called Facts First, no? Subscribe. And just to let you know, if you want to hear more of Toots Ople, tonight at 11:30, it will premiere on our Facebook page dito. Facebook.com/PinoyTayoSanman. I put together the excerpts, no, which are information that are very, very close to the OFWs. No? Lalong-lalo na, at this time we're in, there's so many things that we have on question. What are those? OEC, Pag-ibig, OAC and Pag-ibig, which puts together the PhilHealth position also. Kasama rin po dyan yung mandatory insurance. No? So I put all that together doon sa segment that I put together. So this is part of it. So napakinggan nyo na po yung information about Department
points.
of Migrant Workers. Ano po yung pumapaloob sa loob ng magiging DMW. No? And so much more. So in addition to that, doon sa interview na yan, I've also included yung sagot ni Ma'am Toots regarding OEC. Kasama rin po yung PhilHealth, and kasama rin po yung mandatory insurance. So these, of course, sa mandatory insurance, medyo excuse na tayo, no? Because meron po kayong insurance dito sa Hong Kong. So you don't actually need to give much priority to that. Dahil, tandaan nyo po, the big thing about things that are being released from DOLE or POEA, right? Most of these are placed on general form. Ibig sabihin nun, para sa lahat ng mga OFWs. Put that in mind, okay? Hindi tayo, kumbaga, itinatabi dahil meron na tayong coverage ng samot-saring mga panuntunan based on countries. Alam nyo naman, di ba, Hong Kong has always been a place wherein a lot of people are copying. Yung mga ibang bansa, kinokopya po yung mga panuntunan dito, especially as far as contracts is concerned. And medyo halos pareho na po ang mga sweldo, di ba, ng mga foreign domestic helpers sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo. Dahil binibase po yan dito sa Hong Kong. No? So, abangan nyo po. It will premiere at 11:30 today sa ating facebook.com/PinoyTayoSanman. Yung things that is concerning OEC, PhilHealth, and much more. Okay? So, you can pass it to anyone, share it to anyone later pag napakinggan nyo na po. Binabati lang po natin Full-Blooded Igorot. Good evening po sa inyo lahat. Kuya Mike, kailan ba itataas yung PhilHealth membership fee? Okay, let me just make this clear. If you remember, in 2020, which is yun po yung nag-umpisa yung doon po nag-umpisa yung kumbaga pandemya.
Right.
'Di ba? And it has already been turned into law yung tinatawag nating universal healthcare coverage.
Yes, napag-usapan natin.
Diba,
yan.
napag-usapan
We covered
natin
it
yun.
before.
And one of the persons that we can attribute the bill in Congress ay si 'di ba? Si Secretary, sino yung dating press secretary ni Digong na tumakbo ng senador. So he was the one. Proponent siya doon sa Congress. Proponent naman sa one of the people who actually put that together at the Senate, si J.V. Ejercito. So, ang ginawa po nilang ngayon is they had to put that all together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, when they put that all together, kailangan, syempre, himayin nila yan di ba?
Yeah.
Maaaring yung nasa Senate at saka yung sa Congress, hindi magkasalungat.
Mm-hmm.
So, they had to fine-tune it in order to become a universal healthcare. Ngayon, ito ngayon yan. No? This is where we come along. Magandang tanong yan. Si Noemi, sabi niya dito, may kasama ba yung mga Hong Kong residents? That's a very, very good question because that's a lot. This is where we all come along. No? So, base sa sitwasyon na yan, pinatupad na po yan. Di ba? Pinatupad na po siya in 2020. Okay? But because of the pandemic and because of the clamor ng mga OFW sa ibang bansa, ang ating presidente Duterte decided to upon recommendation magkaroon ng moratorium.
Mm-hmm.
Isasatabi muna siya,
Shelf muna siya.
'di ba?
Tabi ko
Habang
muna siya.
pinagdadaanan natin
Ang
ang pandemya. Correct? So, it was not implemented for the OFWs. But it was implemented locally
In the Philippines.
in the Philippines. Okay?
Shucks.
So, kailangan po nating intindihin yon. No? Now, through the years, syempre, 2020, 2021, 2022 na tayo ngayon.
Oh, shucks.
Right?
2 years.
Ngayon, naglabas ngayon sila, di ba? And you can go scroll
Sa ating page.
our postings, right? There has been a posting na ginawa po natin na nagtalaga na po sila ng month na i-implement ulit ito.
Oo.
Reminding people na tataas na siya ng percentage. Kasi 'di ba gradual percentage increase 'yun eh.
Yeah.
Right? So yung pagtalaga nila nitong pag-impose na naman po nila. June, 'di ba? Yun ang nakalagay doon eh, June, right? So doon sa imposition na 'yon, this is based on salary. Right? Technically, let me make this clear. Technically, because it's a universal healthcare law or act or however they want to call it, right? It is applied to anyone who is a Filipino passport holder.
Oh.
Kasi universal eh.
Oh,
'Di ba? Universal
so,
'yan.
So, sinasagot na natin ang tanong ni Noemi.
Yes.
Kasama po ba dyan ang Hong Kong residents?
Proponent niyan si Harry Roque, no? He was one of the proponents in Congress when he was still congressman. Bago siya kumaga,
Naging spokesperson.
in-appoint siya as the spokesperson of the President, Digong, di ba?
Right.
So, dito sa sitwasyon na yan, hinimay nila, they fixed it, and then bam, application na siya. Digong signed it into law, then it became a Universal Healthcare Act. Now, ito ngayon sinasabi nga natin, if you are based overseas, would you want to be part of it? Right? These are things na pinag-usapan ni Toots right there at the interview tonight. No? It may not be specifics,
Yes.
but maganda po yung nabitawan niya pong salita. Specifically for OFWs. And I think this will also be good to be referred to sa mga residente overseas. When we talk about residents, people who are still holding
A Philippine
a
passport.
Philippine passport.
Pero residente
Pero
sila
residente
ng ibang
sila
bansa.
sa ibang bansa. In the US, it could be a green card. These are resident cards, di ba? Na, kagaya namin dito, we have resident cards. The difference is to distinguish yung mga migrant workers to the residents here is the prefixes of your ID, di ba? It's the W and the WX.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so yun yung sinasabi natin ngayon. Now, yung sinasabi nga natin na previously ang binabayaran nyo lang po is 2,400 pesos annually, taon-taon.
2,400
Now, because of the fact that you have to base it now on salary, right? Like based on my conversion, napag-usapan na natin dito.
Oh yeah,
yan.
yung inanon yung ganun.
Yes. So the
right.
conversion is basically if we calculate it at today's rate. Hindi na natin today's rate. Ako sa akin, like I mentioned the other time, it really depends on, ang pinaka-importante dito, malaman muna natin kung may ceiling siya. Okay? Okay, so kung may ceiling siya. So maybe I need a close-up on one of...
Sige.
Hindi. Dito ko na lang gagawin para mas madali.
Yeah.
Let me just... kasi I can...
Di ba nandyan sa notebook niyo yung ano?
Yung
sinulat niyo?
Oh, yeah, no? Okay. Para i-real time ko sana siya eh.
Oo.
Okay. So anyway, I have it in my notebook which this is my daily notebook na para makita ninyo. Ito. Okay. So there you go.
I-zoom in ko siya.
Yan. Zoom in here na lang. Ha?
Kukunin ko siya.
Okay. So, yung binibasis natin, if you haven't seen this before, right? If you haven't had the chance to see this before, we'll probably be able to see it now. No? Dahil yung iba sa inyo, I'm sure you're very busy when I do my vlog, but this is how it actually happens. So, ito na lang po, just to make it clear. I've calculated it based on the basic salary of an individual dito po as a foreign domestic helper. So, if we look at it, okay, if we look at what is stipulated here, is I multiply this at the lowest, I think of it as the threshold ng conversion. So, yung 4,630 ninyo po, that's what you get monthly at a minimum, you multiply it by 6, which is the conversion of the money into peso. Okay? Because we have to know how much you're earning in peso.
Yes.
Right? So, ang calculation niya, in conversion niya is 27,780 per month. Right? At today's rate of 4%, which will take effect in June, which is next month, which is a couple of days from now. So, i-multiply mo siya by 0.04, which is equivalent, that's the numerical number or the numerical for the percentage is 0.04. Okay, that's a percentage. Lalabas po siya. Okay? Ang 4% is 1,111.20. Yan po yung monthly share nyo. Yan po yung conversion. Now, if we do it annually, then ang lalabas niyan, you multiply that by 12, right? So the total annual contribution nyo po to the universal healthcare is 13,334.4. Okay? So I hope you got that right. Dati, 2,400 lang eh. Right? So if you calculate that at today's, ano pa lang po ito ha, we're only looking at 6, right? Conversion. So 1 Hong Kong dollars is to 6 pesos. Today's rate is already what? 6.66, 6.67. Okay? We actually tried to, ito lang sabihin ko po sa inyo, we tried to get back at the contribution, right? or rather of the exchange rate a year ago. And I remember, sinabi sa akin ni DJ Jin, sabihin na natin, almost a year ago, the conversion rate was about $6.13. Yun ang ano ko eh. That's how I
ulit? So
na ko siya.
is, ano nga ulit today?
$6.13. Today is May 26.
26, right? So May 26 last year was 6.2.
Okay, 6.2. So that's about 6.20, di ba?
Yep.
Okay,
And then
so
today,
it's already 6.66.
6.66.
6.67.
Wow.
So it has already appreciated about 40 to 50 cents. Centavos.
Yes.
Right? So tandaan nyo po yun, ha? The conversion, I made the conversion about a year ago. O probably more than a year ago, mga 6 po siya. So tatamaan po ang OFW twice. 2 times. Bakit tatamaan yung OFW ng 2 times? You have to remember, wala silang nababanggit na threshold. So, a conversion of your money could be different in another country. So, if you're earning, let's say, in US dollars, right? If you're earning in US dollars, ito tatandaan mo to. Ang kaba ko dito, because Philippines always converts its dollars into US. That's another problem for us. Because you convert it into US, from US you convert it into peso, and then from peso, yun yung peso, di ba? Denomination.
Yes.
So kung let's say sabihin natin 13,000 something, magkano? 13,334.4. Let's just look at it that way. Ang conversion. The second whammy hits in now. Because you have to send money, and you send money through remittance, then i-convert ulit yun. You have to look at it that way. I-convert ulit yun. Based on, again, kung ano yung rate of today. Kung nag-depreciate yung peso, which is kagaya ngayon, it has depreciated to 6.66 or 6.67, then lamang ka. Mas mababa po yung kukunin nyo sa bulsa nyo. 'Di ba? Na ipadadala. Right? Pero paano kung nag-appreciate yung peso? If the peso became 5, tumaas, gumanda yung ekonomiya sa atin, 'di ba? Remember this. If the economy is good, the value of the currency appreciates. Pag ganun ho ang mangyari, then ano lalabas nun? 'Di ba? There's, gaya yung sinasabi natin, there's more money you have to dole out for that conversion. Kaya nga yun nga yung pinakamasakit dyan eh. When we base everything on the exchange rate. Okay? So tatandaan mo. Kaya nga, ang gusto kong sabihin sa inyo, watch the video later. Mamaya, pakinggan nyo po siya. Right? It's the interview. I've put it all together. Doon nyo po malalaman. Because it's very, very difficult na to justify, alam naman natin to, for people who have lived overseas for the longest time, why would...
na 40 years.
Bakit ko i-justify sa sarili ko? Nagbabayad ako ng insurance that literally is only applicable back in the Philippines.
Ay, hindi covered dito. That is true.
Right? Meron silang sinasabi, according to PhilHealth, in previous years na sinasabi nila, okay, kung nagkasakit kayo dyan, you can convert that ulit, you pay for it, and then we will pay you back, reimburse you. The only question there is how much of what I pay here, you will fully reimburse.
Yeah. Is it will it be like a certain percentage lang? And then the rest, like ano yung percentage nila? 60%? 40% from my pocket?
Exactly. So, yun ang sinasabi natin. Meron ba itong co-pay na ang babayaran nila is, kunyari, out of 100%, out of $1,000,
60.
di ba? 60% or 600 lang
600.
ibabalik nila. Yung
400
400 share ko yon. Kasi yung insurance ganun. Not all insurances, specifically if you have pre-existing conditions, are covered. Right?
Yes, may mga nag-share sa atin previously
Correct.
about that.
Correct. Right?
Na
So,
there are some, yun nga, pre-existing conditions or kung may nangyari sa inyo, hindi siya covered under that bill.
exactly, 'di ba? So yun po yung pinakamahirap. Another thing that you have to consider also, what if the insurance of ito nga yung sinasabi ko. This is where a little bit of a huge question mark. Hindi ko naman siguro a little bit kasi may something fishy sa akin ito eh. When you have an existing insurance, let me repeat this one more time kasi klarong-klaro po ito na we can siphon so much money
Yeah.
from a universal health care. 1,000 ang binayaran ng amo mo
Right.
for yourself, right? And it covers the insurance of your amo.
Here.
Correct.
Okay.
As a member of PhilHealth, because ako yung dumaan sa ng doktor, I can get the receipt. Right? And then reimburse that to PhilHealth. Kasi member ako eh.
But in fact,
Ang
Na-covered
nagbayad nun
na.
yung amo.
yung insurance nung
The
sa amo.
insurance na kinuha para sa'yo. Now, that could easily be possible na pwede ko siyang kunin. Kasi under the circumstance that was placed before, pwede mong i-reimburse yung ano mo,
Yung bill mo.
yung bill mo. So, ipadadala ko ngayon siya sa PhilHealth. Paano ko talagang inaccept nila at binalik yung pera sa akin? So, ibig sabihin nun, yung insurance dito, binayaran na siya, which
So, supposedly, wala na.
wala na yun. But I
Scot-free ka
still
na.
got money because I sent back the receipt to them and then I took whatever was given
That's
to me.
double-double.
Yun na nga.
Ang labo.
Di ba? So, kailangan talaga pag-aralan ng maigi. Sabi nga ni Tita Alpha, ang daming kailangang magbabayad ka
Sa
sa
hospital.
hospital pagkuha ng
Medical abstract ng pati pagkuha daw ng medical abstract ng pasyente, kailangan may may bayad. Sabi ni Tita Agnes, my case. I was an active member of PhilHealth when I had med procedure done in Philippines during my vacation, but my benefit was not covered by PhilHealth, so I immediately stopped my contribution kasi sayang lang.
Yun ang sinasabi natin. Ano yung coverage nila? Would they cover the pre-existing conditions?
Yeah.
Kasi pag universal care, it covers everything. Di ba? Kasi may contribution ka eh.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing as what's happening here.
Right.
When you go to a public hospital, they cannot deny you. Di ba? In fact, their responsibility is that kung meron ka talagang may karamdaman ka talaga, they will monitor you. And their monitoring system is such that
24/7, guys.
Exactly.
I have experience it. We
No?
have experience.
So, yun ang gusto ko sabihin sa inyo. Now, kaya nga ito yung pinaka-ano dito. Ngayon, ito yung pinaka-critical dito. If you were an OFW, there's two things here. Asawa nyo na sa Pilipinas nagtatrabaho.
Right.
Right? He may not be earning that much, but based on his salary, he's paying 4% of what his salary, kung ano yung porsyento na yun, ano yung value na yun. Assuming that he gets 4% out of yung sweldo niya. Since ikaw yung spouse, technically, dependent ka niya.
Yes.
Correct? And yung mga anak.
Yeah.
Okay? Pero, since OFW ka, and it's mandatory, should I be forced to pay also? Ano yung magiging basihan doon? Is it which is higher?
Yun.
Tanong yun, ha? Legitimate question yun.
So will they be also dependent sa OFW na lang?
Yun. Because this, yung kinikita o yung 4% na kukunin sa asawa mo is much lower than what you're getting from here. So that's a legitimate question. Di ba? Bakit ako kukuha ng PhilHealth na member na yung asawa ko?
Wala. It's
O
double
nag-overlap? Because you cannot use two separate PhilHealths into one patient. Hindi pa pwede,
Hindi pwede
yun.
yun.
Di ba? Hindi nyo pwedeng ipatong yung merong ng existing. Hindi po pwede.
Ang tanong din, ang mga single na wala ng parents,
Walang parents. Do you
may kapatid,
pwede ko bang isama yung kapatid
pwede
ko?
ba silang
Based on
beneficiary?
actually, based on PhilHealth, hindi siya po pwede. Kasi dapat immediate eh.
Oh.
Di ba?
Ayun.
Dapat immediate. So, marami ho siyang katanungan. I like what Toots actually mentioned earlier doon sa kanyang sagot. And you'll get more of that later.
Right.
Kung member si Mrs. Hong,
Wag na daw si Mr.
Hindi. Yun na nga yung sinasabi ko. That's exactly what we're trying to say. But the question is nga, knowing them back home, syempre, mas gusto nila yung makuha yung mas malaki kaysa doon sa maliliit, di ba?
Of course.
Kasi you have to understand, the bigger the salaried people will subsidize the marginals. Yun eh. Ganun po yung mangyayari. So I can just imagine, kagaya nun, my last na lang to before we take a break. Imagine based it on a salary of a residente. My question is this. Dahil Hong Kong resident ako, but I'm holding a Philippine passport. So, considered na mandatory din ako.
But we rarely go
But
home.
I rarely go home.
Exactly.
So, kung ganun ang mangyayari ngayon,
Paano yun?
I probably, based on my salary, will be paying much more on an insurance back home than
Than
an
the insurance here.
that I may get here in a private insurance company. So does that make sense?
No.
We'll be back.
Metro Plus, Hong Kong's weather.
Mainly cloudy with a few showers. More showers with isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 26 and 29 degrees. Moderate south to southeasterly winds. Relative humidity stands at 85%. For the outlook, a few showers on Saturday, hot with sunny periods in the following few days. And that's the weather from Metro Plus, your connect.
The more people get vaccinated, the stronger we can fight the epidemic. Under the vaccine pass, persons without medical or other exemptions and age 12 or above must be vaccinated to enter food premises, scheduled premises, government leisure and cultural venues and more. Jab records can be saved in the Leave Home Safe app for easy use, or shown in the IM Smart and eHealth apps, or kept on hard copy to show or scan the QR code of your record as required. With the protection of vaccines, we will resume normal life soon.
When you go for an outing with friends, remember to bring along fully charged mobile phones with backup batteries and better still, walkie-talkies for communications. In case of emergency, as long as your location is covered by any local mobile network, you can dial 112 to contact the police. Emergency helplines are also available along some hiking routes. Before outing, get the information of the mobile network coverage of hiking trails from ofca.gov.hk.
Balik po tayo sa ating programa. May mga ano tayo dito, reaction. Si Mary Jane.
Dapat pag-isipang mabuti kasi madaming OFW ang naghihirap tapos pahihirapan pa. Kapos na nga dahil pilit pinagkakasya ang sahod.
Sabi ni Apple, kailangan daw iparating natin sa gobyerno yan. Sabi naman ni Noemi.
Same here, Kuya Mike. Tagal na ring di umuuwi. Oh, Noemi is a resident.
Yes, si
Diba?
Miss Franco, sabi niya, kaya ako, stop na rin na hindi na ako nagbabayad kasi single ako. Then, yung parents ko may sarili naman silang PhilHealth, useless din. Eh, kagaya ng sinabi nga ni Tita Alpha kanina, you can't use two of the PhilHealth benefits into one patient.
Oo,
Di pa
yung
pwede
two
yan.
members.
Di pa pwede
Na-try
yan.
daw niya
Yes.
one time.
Sa kanyang asawa. Dapat po buksan ang tainga ng gobyerno at hinaing ng mga OFW. Salamat po sa clear information. Ang question kasi dito is this I've actually personally written
A letter.
Attorney Geran, no? To PhilHealth. The letter has been accepted formally. But again, it has been accepted formally, but I don't know whether they'll allow yung interview. But at least, I took the initiative, no, to
To
write
invite
them,
them,
to
yeah.
invite them here
To speak.
and explain.
Oo.
And para madinig rin nila ang questions ninyo. Kasi it's very hard eh. Para sa atin, specifically sa inyo na nakikinig po sa atin ngayon, the difficult part here is to understand where you stand. Okay? Ngayon, let me just make this clear. A lot of you have questioned or sent questions to us through WhatsApp or sa aming chatbot sa Facebook page. No? The questions ang nilalagay po, Kuya Mike, okay lang ba kung doon ako kumuha ng OEC sa Pilipinas? Okay. This is also a question I have asked yung mga kinauukulan dito. I will not mention anymore. Alam nyo kung sino yung mga kinauukulan, so we'll just take it from there. The sad part about alam natin that the sad part about doing it here is that punong-puno talaga ang consulate or ang polo because you get your OEC from polo and they will teach you how to do it in polo. Tandaan nyo po yun, right? That's the norm. Kasi bigla tayo, parang di ba? If you remember, nagkaroon tayo ng position then before na isang December, grabe yung pila para kumuha lang ng OEC. And I know everyone had that experience. There was even a chance na nag-away pa sa pila. Okay? Now, the question is, then they opened yung tinatawag nilang BM, which is Balik Manggagawa Online.
Yeah.
Then it became much easier. But there were people still getting the manual paper.
Yes.
Correct? Na ang bayad mo is literally 20 Hong Kong dollars. Right? And then, tinanggal nila without any consultation, they took out BM Online. Then they placed it with e-registration which was under POEA. 'Di ba? So, and then doon nila nilakip yung pag-ibig. And then we had Raymond Ramos here then sinabi ni Raymond, as of this time, which I also bumped into him on Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday this week, wala pa rin confirmation regarding the, formal, collab ng OEC, right? And ng pag-ibig.
Yeah.
Kasi pinag-uusapan pa. That's a huge question mark there. Pero ang ini-encourage natin lahat sa ating mga kababayan is to get the membership ID. Right? Sakaling magkaroon ng problema. So, ini-introduce namin kayo dun sa e-registration so that you can fill up the form. The problem with the e-registration, there's two problems.
One.
Okay? The first problem is it is not mobile friendly.
No.
Okay? So, yung kanilang website is not mobile friendly. Dahil pag binuksan nyo po siya sa mobile, hindi po nagsishrink po yung front page. Pero yung back page,
It's
pang desktop po siya.
pang desktop talaga siya.
Or
Hindi
pang
nila
laptop.
inayos yun.
Hindi nila inayos yun. So, they did not really sort of figured out that lahat ng tao,
Especially OFWs.
especially OFWs, use mobile phones to process their application. That's the
Yes.
first problem.
One.
The second problem is, pag nagkamali kayo, and you already entered everything,
There's no going back
and you
to edit.
submitted, hindi nyo pwedeng i-edit. So, kung ganun po yung mangyari, what do you need to do? You have to get an e-ticket and wait para masagot po sa inyo. And the sad part is, you still cannot edit. Through the e-ticket, ang mismong administrator nila doon, how many may they be, sila ngayon ang mag-i-edit nung mali ninyo. That's the problem. Right? So, it takes ages. Right?
Hassle.
So, ngayon, dumami pa rin yung mga tao ngayon na pumupunta sa Polo.
website.
Right? And sa Polo.
Oh, personally,
Right?
yeah.
At humihingi na sila ng tulong doon. Because Polo assists you based on using laptops or desktops.
Yes.
Right? So, yun yung naging problema dyan sa OEC na yan. But for the ngayon, marami nagsasabi, Sir, doon ko na lang kukunin kasi sobrang dami dito. Nako, eto ngayon.
Is there a
Ang
problem?
sinasabi ko lang sa kanila, simple lang sinasabi ko sa kanila, That's your decision. The reason why I'm saying it's your decision is because I cannot foresee, hindi ko makukonfirm sa inyo kung yung pagkuha nyo po ng OEC sa Pilipinas will be free. Remember, naintindihan nyo po yon? Because remember, yung mga tao sa Pilipinas, when you go to POEA, their perception is totally different.
I just...
Okay? Yung perception, kagaya nga ni MJ, di ba? Pumunta siya doon. Ang ginawa, pinagbayad siya ng pag-ibig. So, binayaran niya yung side lang nung... Again, tingnan niyo ito. Isn't it so confusing? Dito kasi sa Hong Kong, di ba, ang binabayad natin, may contribution yung amo at may contribution yung worker. Pero since we're overseas Filipino workers, dapat yung contribution na yun, inclusive na yung dalawa na yun.
Yeah.
Ang nagbabayad nun is yung worker.
na lang. So,
Pero ang
parang
pinagbayad si MJ, yung worker side lang. So instead of yung buong taon na nagbabayad ka ng $200 per month, so dapat 2,400 siya, lumabas ang binayaran lang niya,
kalahati.
1,200, which is weird. Di ba? Weird ho yun. Kasi
That is weird,
hindi dapat yun. Kasi overseas, it's supposed to be 2,400. Ngayon, ito pa. Meron din yung iba, because they papasok sila dito, kaya tinutulak ko po sa inyo na kung kayo'y uuwi, you have to make sure na yung insurance policy nyo dito,
Cover
yung
page.
cover page, may dala po kayo, may photocopy po kayo noon. What's in the cover page? Yung policy number,
Your name.
yung pangalan ninyo sa coverage, or yung pangalan ng amo ninyo. Number 3 is the duration noong yung validity date ng inyong insurance.
Yeah.
Right? Kasi, baka pagdating nyo na naman doon kayo kumuha ng OEC sa POEA, sasabihin ng tao sa'yo, ganun ba? Okay, di kung ganun palang problema, di magbayad ka ngayon ng insurance. Ha?
Ha? But you have insurance here.
Exactly. Kasi tinawag nilang mandatory coverage ng insurance alam mo sa atin, pag sinabing mandatory, ibig
Walang
sabihin nun, walang kawala ka.
Yeah, you have to pay.
Exactly.
Now.
So yun po yung nagiging problema as far as that is concerned. Sabi nga ni
Yes.
Dolly Sopranes, ang gulo naman. Okay. So now, ito yung sinasabi natin ngayon, which is being implored now by the incoming administration, na dapat continuous at smooth ang transition. Okay? So, how that's gonna happen, we don't know. Tandaan mo, we are getting into uncharted territory. Pag sinabi ko anong uncharted territory, nasa kalagitnaan po tayo ng isang lugar, lahat ng OFWs or lahat ng overseas Filipino workers, kasi ililipat tayo ng responsibilidad. Na dati, POEA, OWA, and DOLE. Doon tayo under
Yeah.
Di ba? So, DOLE is the mother. Attached agencies nila ang POEA tsaka OWA. Now, it's a totally different picture dahil may bago na po tayong talagang departamento, which is Department of Migrant Workers. So, ililipat ngayon yun, yung mga responsibilidad ng mga ahensya na yun, doon. The problem we are going to encounter, which I hope kakayanin ni Ma'am Toots ito, is yung appointed staff.
Here.
Hindi lang here,
Everywhere.
but back in the Philippines also. Kasi ngayon, wala pa ho silang nakatalagang mga staff under that sangay ng
department.
gobyerno.
Oh my.
So these are things that you have to be patient muna tayo. No? Maging, kung dati pasensyosa ho tayo, much more
Ngayon.
now. Because we are going through a transition which will probably take a much longer situation to, kumbaga, mag-settle down siya than normal. Okay? So, ingat-ingat na lang po. That's the life of, sabi nga ni Emma, that's the life of OFWs.
Hirap.
Ingat po kayo. Catch the
Interview.
interview
In a bit. Sa ating page, facebook.com/PinoyTayoSanman.
11:30 po ang premiere niyan.
Yep.
On that note, we'll see you again tomorrow. And on behalf of Tita Carrie, DJ The Big J, Kuya Mike na po!
DJ Jin!
Love you guys.
Love you. Stay hydrated.
Bye.
Good night.